Well, the YouTube table site here. One of the Unsolved Worcester case from Unsolved Worcester. This is a very bizarre story. And, I don't know, this one, not only is it bizarre in the case of a woman that just seamlessly disappears, but it's also got to do with affairs and running off on the husband and all kinds of just crazy stuff. And her name's Vicke Lee. She's been missing since 1974. Now, if I would assume anything, I would assume this poor woman's suffered from mental health issues. Not only getting married at a young age, because she was still in college, I believe, but this is just beyond bizarre. And I mean, this is what she looks like. I mean, as it looks could be deceiving, but this woman looks like a very normal, average woman. But the stories that the family came out with, friends came out with, and let alone her, husband or whatever. And what is even more bizarre, a college professor had her clothing at his house, and literally said that, he didn't say, but it was said that she was having an affair with this college professor. And when they caught up with him, he had her clothes in his house because he said that she was staying or something or he was trying to help her out or whatever. But it also goes into detail that this guy didn't have no recollection. Yeah, screwed that one up. Recollections. Damn it. Of, knowing this girl, let alone why he had her clothes in her house. But what is very bizarre is that he did have an alibi, supposedly, unless he was one of these men that used his wife, or his wife maybe even liked kidnapping and killing, because believe me, there's been couples out there that have done that. And there has been a girl, that had been found in California and being, kept by her, will, raped. And the wife was along with the husband and, not only allowed it, but obviously enjoyed every minute of it. Say so. And I forget that girl's name, but if you look up girl kidnapped in California, hell, captive of husband and wife, I'm sure will come up. But that's what this really seems like to me, is that case right there. Because there is couples that will kidnap and rape and torture together, let alone someone doing it by themselves. But this girl supposedly was going to Maine on vacation with a girlfriend, not a relationship friend, but, a friend. But ended up not, known anything going out there. And I want to say this professor went out of the country, and she supposedly went with him, but when the cops, like I said, caught up with him, he said that he was with his wife on this trip, and that he didn't know where this girl went or was or blah. Then he got sick and checked into a hospital for pneumonia. But what is more creepier that, everybody was saying this girl was having an affair. The guy said that she was having an affair with another professor and that she ran off with him. But in the video, the guy, the host, commentary guy said that what I just said, that he said I had no recollection or whatever of knowing her, seeing her, or blah blah, whatever the hell it was, but yet she ran off with another professor and cheated on him. It was all said in this one episode, and that's what makes it very bizarre to me. I mean, and then at that, the family waited 30 years in 2010 to report this girl missing. Because whether they took her seriously or not, or whether she said it or not, this girl supposedly wanted to run away, start a new life, get out of Dodge, and one of them kind of, flip side stories. And even a friend said that she wanted to change her skin color to black. So, I mean, like I said, she could have had some mental health issues. And back in the 70s, of course, this stuff was not, all they did was back then throw you in the asylum. You're crazy. That's it. Get into the asylum. Ha ha. But in all seriousness, whatever the case may be, the husband went to the professor's house, the first professor. He didn't know nothing about it, or, hadn't seen her or whatever he said. But like I said, this guy was just as fishy as anybody else in this case, the professor. Let alone telling, oh, I don't have no recollection of what there it is, recollection of where she is or who she is, or I don't remember that, and, saying all this stupid stuff. And shame on the investigators back then not looking at this as a serious crime. And that's another thing I think that should happen, and it doesn't matter if you're an adult or not, but you should have it should be where people should have just like Brian Laundrie, if I'm saying his name right. I know his last name's Laundrie. And the Petito girl, mental health issues. Now, if I was a police officer on that site that day, I would have told them to end this, get your butts home, no more, you need to get out of this van. I don't care what you say or do. And, it's these type of cases like this that where people should have their rights, just taken away from them temporarily at least. And then they should be looked at and checked in or do something. Watched, severely watched. And this is what this girl could have happened to her. She could have been in a bizarre twist of some mental case state. And, and everything that was said in this case was just, the people not even just going on what she says is just insane. I want to leave. I want to start a new life. I want to get out of here. Blah, blah, blah. You don't do that crap and that ain't right, man. I'm sorry. There's something wrong. Excuse me, with a person there if they're saying and wanting to do this stuff. Especially when they want to change your skin color. I mean, come on. What more could be said of this being a mental health case? That literally could have been prevented if looked in more clearly. But of course, like I said, back in the 70s, man, it wasn't unnatural back then to take yourself out and go hitchhiking. Don't know a damn thing about anybody, and you're out there sticking out your thumb, and it wasn't abnormal back then to do stuff like this, and I'm sure it wasn't abnormal to, focus on your dreams, but, we're in cases of like Gabby Petito and, Dirty Laundry guy, they're a perfect example of what people should be looked at of cases like, say so, when they want to get out and just go travel the world and, let alone, right, they're adults, they can go do what they want, but when they have, and I think, and honestly, I want to say that Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie, if I think his name's Brian, I forget his first name, so I call him Dirty Laundry. But I want to say that they both maybe had some intellectual disabilities, and that, leads someone to be unmature. They're not their age. That's what intellectual disability is, what I think means to me, because I know from experience, because I know someone that has it. And, right, they don't act their age. I mean, they're far behind. They're not, mentally disabled, like this, the mentally challenged people. They're just behind, right? I mean, there's a lot of difference between mentally challenged and intellectual disabilities. But you just got to learn to grow up more. And that's what Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie did not do in life. Grew up enough. They thought they were ready, but they weren't. This girl thought she was ready. But as you can see, 1974 is a long time ago. What is that? 49 years, right? And for that being said, yeah, this girl, I think, met her demise because she made some unchoiceful decisions, because she was probably intellectually disabled. And that's what intellectual disabled people do. They think they can take their challenges on, but they can't. In all seriousness and all, that's what I think it means. From experience, like I said, I know. They got the motive, they got the, the kick, they got everything, the spice, the golden of the world, to be sat down and say, I'm going to do this and take my challenge. But all in all, in the end, they're not ready for nothing, especially in the big world. So, I mean, she could have been killed by this couple, or if she was with another man, he could have killed her, or she could have set off on her journey, getting out of Dodge, want to start a new life like the family said, then get picked up in serial killers back then, boy. Ted Bundy, wandering the country. It's all there, folks. Black and white. But Worcester seems to have a lot of their own serial killers. And oh boy, I tell you, it's getting more insane and intense. Seeing a lot of these friggin', unsolved Worcester cases that if you do happen to look it up like the last one I did, it didn't come up with much information. So you can honestly say that these cases do get lost. And, but in my version of it, in my thoughts, theories, ideas, they do not do enough of investigation with any of these cases. And it's very, very sad. Especially when Unsolved Worcester, and I'm watching it, they come out with just the basics of the information. Was there ever a lie detector test taken on any of these people? Probably not, right? And they had them back then, and they worked. They were accurate. Fire in the sky, the alien story, that guy told the truth. All of them told the truth, so 74 ain't too far off from 79. And I'm sure whatever they had for, lie detector tests back then, I would have determined something when it came out in this story. But no one did nothing. They just went on their business and then waited 30 years, Well, file that missile report. Jesus Christ. Half this woman's family's probably dead now, for crying out loud. It's like, wow. Insane. But, I mean, that's the basics of the story. I mean, doing a timeline on this, I don't know, man. I think she was not out of the country. I think she was supposed to go to Colorado. That's what it was, Colorado. But the professor was with his wife in Colorado. That's what it was. Colorado she was supposed to go to. But like I say, she wanted to travel the world. So who knows if she went off by herself. But this many years later, and not, her credit cards, I guess, were never used. Birth certificate never used. Everything was left behind in this case. And it's just so damn bizarre. To me, that sounds like just plain right out murder. And they are now just, filing it 2010, 2010 is when they filed the case on this poor woman, thinking she'd come back home. And the investigators just, shrugged it off, just like the family. She'll be back. She just went about her business and did what she wanted to say she was going to do. Yeah. That's just ludicrous. If I had someone like this missing or even up and left with it, I don't care what they have or dreams they have. Perfect example, Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie. They were two that were going to explore the world just like this woman. And look what happened to them. All their mental illness bottled up in one little van. Who knows what this woman had for mental illness back then? Because back then, like I say, always remember it wasn't detected like it is today. There wasn't much on stuff. Throw him in the asylum. Ha ha, that's right. Give him a lobotomy. Jab that needle in the eye. Yep. Electric shock. Just insane, man. Sick. If there were, if there any time travelers and get back to time, man, to check out, people like this before they take off and go missing, yeah, I guarantee you'll find a lot into their mental health state of what's really wrong with them, so. But, unfortunately, we're stuck here to this day waiting to see if one day, she'll pop up. But who knows? I think either the first professor with the wife had something to do with it, or the second one, or even a serial killer, let alone. Because she did go to a college, and actually she did make it to New York, because a college had sent her some type of acceptance letter from New York. So she rightfully could have got sucked up in New York in the madness out there. Remember, Blondie, Deborah Harry, I believe she was in New York. And I'm about to wonder if this woman met that same vehicle that Deborah Harry said that she jumped into. Saw that there was no window opener, no doorknob opener. Just everything was taken off the door. And she said she was lucky enough to get out of that vehicle because the window was open. Enough to stick her arm out, and she jumped the hell out. I'm grateful for that woman to stay alive because, she got some great music I like. But could she have met the demise of that man? Deborah Harry's captor, almost getting captured into a New York City. And I think it was around the time she was hanging around the CBGB, I believe it was. Hey, this woman could have met that man one night. You never know. A lot of things to think about. Thoughts, theories, ideas, and they waited 30 years, and it's just 30 years too late. Hell, she could have been a Long Island victim of the Long Island killer. There was a lot of serial killers out there in New York, boy. Oof. But if anybody knows this woman, have seen this woman back in 74, hopefully you can give some ideas or answers of where she is. Until then, be safe, take care, and always beware. You'll never know when you'll meet someone, boy, or just make that wrong decision, that wrong turn. I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going on with my life, and nope. That's it. You can't do that, folks. You can't. But keep your heads up, keep your fists up, and be sure you do the right thing before you make a life-changing decision to travel the world and take on whatever mountain you think you're going to take, because that mountain can swallow you up and make you disappear. Out.